Hey, what is happening, everyone? Today I'm showing off a Hydreigon EX build built around the Obsidian attack on Hydreigon. Before I jump into it, though, I'm sure you're wondering, Azul, where did you get that dope Mew desk mat? And the answer is qualitypatchdesigns.com. Check them out over there. Of course, a link will be in the description. They got so much more than just desk mats, though. Shirts, hats, ties, you name it, they got it. Qualitypatchdesigns.com. Code AzulGG will also get you a discount over there as well. Okay, so let's talk about Hydreigon EX to start off with here. It's got 330 HP. It is a stage 2 EX Pokemon. The first attack, Crashing Heads, does 200 damage for a dark and a colorless, and you discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, which honestly I think is pretty decent. And honestly, Hydreigon in general, I've kind of come around on a little bit more. At first I kind of wrote the card off, but I think there is some decent potential with this card. Now this build specifically is built around that Obsidian attack. For a Psychic, Dark, Metal, and Colorless energy, it does 130 damage, and then 130 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So an extremely powerful attack, but an extremely high attack cost. So let's go ahead and let's get through the rest of the deck here so I can show you how we are powering it up. So we got 2 of the Hydreigon EX, 1 of the stage 1 of Hydreigon Zweilous, and then we got 4 Dino, the basic Pokemon for Hydreigon. I actually just don't know how to pronounce the pre-evolutions of Hydreigon, I'm not gonna lie. We got the Pidgey engine in this build to Pidgeot EX. I don't know if the Pidgeot EX will be necessary, to be honest, for Hydreigon overall, but currently rocking it. And then I have an Enamorous V in the deck, everyone's favorite Pokemon. It's got that Guardian Love ability. It prevents all effects of your opponent's abilities done to your Pokemon that have Psychic energy attached to them. So we're using this as kind of a counter to Dusknoir. If we have a Dino on the bench with a Psychic energy, our opponent can't Dusknoir to KO it, as long as we have the Enamorous in play. And then also, as we set up to a Hydreigon, there's a lot of decks out there right now that can't one-hit KO 330 HP Pokemon, but if they can pop a Dusknoir on it and then hit it with something like Palkia, something like the Palkia Dusknoir deck can do that, where they can pop a Dusknoir to do 130 damage to the Pokemon and then pretty easily hit it for 200 with the Palkia. That would be a way for them to KO the Hydreigon. But as long as we have the Enamorous V in play, they have to deal with the Enamorous first, leaving our Hydreigon around for hopefully +1 turn to pull off another Obsidian attack to take over the game. We are a Rotom Arven based engine, so we have a Rotom V in here, we have a Luminion V in here, and then of course we got Pheasantipity, because, I mean, can you not have Pheasantipity? I don't know. Is that illegal? That might be illegal. And then we have a Manaphy in here as well to protect our bench further than just the Enamorous. For the supporters, we got 4 Arven, of course, 2 Iona, 1 Colress's Tenacity, and this, I think, is specifically super powerful in this deck. We do run the Neo Upper Energy to be able to get that energy cost on our Hydreigon. It can also find us Town Store, and Town Store can find us Counter Gain, a card we'll talk about here in a second as well. So yeah, the Colress's Tenacity is like a super good combo card for the Hydreigon deck. 1 Turo scenario, Enamorous V. I didn't really want to put this in here, but Enamorous V has 2 retreat cost, which is kind of weird, kind of awkward, kind of hard to move if our opponent decides they just want to gust it up and trap it. So we got to run some kind of pivot card. I guess we could just play a Latias EX maybe, but I went with the Turo scenario here because it is a way to like maybe pick up a liability like a Rotom from the early game, or even our Pidgeot, or maybe reset the HP or the damage on a Hydreigon as well, possibly. We have a Briar in here as well. We are a comeback Terra deck, so it does seem like it would synergize well in this deck. Of course, Briar is a pretty awkward card to pull off in general, so I'm not sure how well it'll synergize in the deck overall, but my initial build here is rocking it. Of course, we got the 4 Buddy Poffin. I got 3 Ultra Ball, and I got 1 Terra Orb, a new Pokemon search card coming out in Surging Spark. So search your deck for a Terra Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So the reason this is so powerful and synergizes so well with the Arven build is it's because instead of having to go get an Ultra Ball to get our Hydreigon, now we can use Terra Orb to be able to pull off like the combo of like turn 2 Candy Pidgeot, Candy Hydreigon a little bit more easily. Now we do have Feather Ball and have had Feather Ball in the format for a decent amount of time, which we could use to combo to get our Pidgeot EX. The thing about the Pidgeot EX, though, is basically we're only trying to ever set up Pidgeot on turn 2, and we're not trying to set up multiple of them throughout the game. So the Feather Ball loses a lot of value really quickly, but Terra Orb retains some value in the later parts of the game because we might want to set up multiple Hydreigons throughout the game, whereas we probably won't want to set up multiple Pidgeot EX. So definitely worth trying out in these Terra decks. Like this is probably decent maybe as a one of in like Charizard or Dragapult as well in these stage 2 decks that are built alongside Pidgeot. And I could even see it being correct to maybe play 1 Terra Orb and 1 Feather Ball, so you just have a little bit better options to get to your stage 2 Pokemon without having to play Ultra Ball and discarding a bunch of cards from your hand. You don't want to lose those resources. We got 2 Nest Ball, 4 Rare Candy, of course, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Night Stretcher for recovery. That's all the recovery I play. I don't think we need a whole ton of recovery, so just the 1 Night Stretcher. A couple Counter Catcher. I actually don't play Boss in here. We are a comeback deck. We're not taking any big one-hit KOs with Obsidian. We're hitting the active for a little bit of damage, and then we're spreading damage from there. So we're not really drawing prize cards that aggressively, so we should have Counter Catcher active most of the game until we close it out. And then here is the counter gains, which says when we are behind on prize cards, it provides the attacks that this Pokemon is attached to, this tool card is attached to, cost 1 colorless less. So that works with the Hydreigon's Obsidian to remove the colorless cost on Obsidian, meaning we just need to make up for the Psychic, Dark, and Metal, which is still a lot, but it is a little bit less, especially when we can get it through a tool card that doesn't take up our attachment for a turn. Another card to maybe consider in here would be Dark Patch. I don't currently play the Dark Patch, but that would be like another form of energy acceleration. I am, however, rocking some Technical Machine Turbo Energizes. I'm basically committing to taking the first couple turns of the game off with this deck to initially set up through Rotom Draw maybe, and then go into a Turbo Energize, and then on like turn 3, maybe turn 2 if we're lucky, start to attack with the Obsidian from the Hydreigon. Turbo Energize has a Turbo Energize attack on the tool card for a colorless energy. You can search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So we could like have, I don't know, Manaphy in the active, attach Turbo Energize, attach an energy, use Turbo Energize, and then we can accelerate like 2 Psychics to 2 Dinos on the bench or something like that. So pretty cool for that early game energy acceleration. I play 1 TM Devo because it seems pretty good. We can like use Obsidian, spread a bunch of damage in a bunch of places, and then TM Devo our opponent's board. I don't know, doesn't seem bad. 1 Forest Heal Stone, of course, a combo with our V Pokemon. There's that Town Store I was talking about. Synergizes super well with Colress's Tenacity because we could play Colress's Tenacity, get the Town Store. Town Store goes and gets our counter gain, and then also off of Colress's Tenacity, we can grab our A-Spec, the Neo Upper Energy, which provides 2 of any type of energy as long as it is attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, which hopefully it will be attached to our Hydreigon. That's the plan. So that's why the Colress Tenacity is so good. That kind of like combo there, right? I think it's super sick. Being able to go Colress for the Town Store and the Neo Upper Energy at the same time is just super sick. And then for basic energy, we got 3 Metal, 3 basic Dark, and 3 basic Psychic. Okay, that's it. That's my first take on a Hydreigon build built around the Obsidian attack. Although, like I said, I think I'm underrating Hydreigon initially with my initial takes of the deck. I think there could be like a Crashing Heads build that maybe uses Obsidian in the late game. Like just play for turn 2 Crashing Heads. That could actually be pretty good, to be honest. 1,000,003 cards on something that has 330 HP. And it's also like we're not aggressively taking knockouts, so we have like time to do a lot of Crashing Heads before like our opponent can like heavily disrupt us with Iono or have access to stuff like Briar or Counter Catch or any shenanigans like that. Like we can become like a pseudo mill, don't draw prize cards, but then close out the game with Obsidian or by milling. I don't know. There's definitely some other stuff to explore with Hydreigon for sure. I'm actually a lot more excited for this card than when I initially read it. But let's go ahead and let's shuffle this 60 up for now, and let's run through a quick Solitaire game. All right, we are just all about shuffled up here, and I don't know, I think with this deck we probably would want to choose first. So I'm going to go ahead and say we won the coin flip, chose first. So we look for a turn 1 Rotom, and then we look for like a turn 2 Turbo Energize probably. Overall, this hand is okay. Maybe not getting to the Turbo Energize. Actually, no, I think we could actually here. Because we can actually like pull off like a Pidgeot on our next turn or something like that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and pretend we went first, and we have turn 2 Pidgeot in our hand right here. So I'm just going to start with the Buddy Poffin, go grab myself probably another Dino, and then also a Pidgey. And we're going to play for that Turbo Energize on this next turn to try and get a lot of energy in play for sure. I'm sure a card y'all would be curious about, like why I'm not playing it, is Crispin. Crispin seems okay, but it's a little bit slow. Having something like the Colress's Tenacity feels a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like we wouldn't be able to like play Crispin and then also have Neo Upper Energy in our hand as well as like counter gains all the time. So yeah, I think it's like seems okay. All right, I will attach return, do the Dino, and then I think we would just pass over to our opponent. If they're playing an aggressive deck, we would get knocked out, then we'd probably attach to our bench. But if they're not playing an aggressive deck, probably make its way back to us. That is an absurd top deck. Okay, so we're going to candy out the Pidgeot here. I could play the Ultra Ball, but these are pretty powerful cards, so I think I'm just going to play the Iono here. Shuffle the hand to the bottom, get ourselves 6 fresh cards here. Let's see what we got. 3, 4, 5, 6. Got the Candy Hydreigon. Okay, hold up. The only thing we're really missing here is honestly that Turbo Energize. So I think I would go with it attached to the bench Dino. Play a Nest Ball here. go ahead and grab ourselves another Dino, and then quick search and get ourselves that Turbo Energize, if it's in the deck. There we go, Turbo Energize. And I think we're going to candy out this Hydreigon here as well. Candy, Hydreigon, and then go into that Turbo Energize. Grab ourselves... I mean, this thing is already set up. We can get a Metal and a Psychic on it. Yeah, this thing is like already set up, ready to go. We're ready to Obsidian on the next turn. Theoretically, we could split the energy here if we really wanted to, but yeah, it's looking pretty good here for that turn 2 Obsidian, or turn 3, I guess. We're going for turn 3 with Turbo Energize. I like the idea of going with the Turbo Energize initially, because it then means we could probably set up 2 Hydreigons throughout a game. If we get off a turn 2 Turbo Energize into utilizing like counter gains and Neo Upper Energy after that, we should be able to like set up 2 Hydreigons throughout a game to be able to like close out a game. Without the Turbo Energize, seems a little bit more difficult, but with it, I think we have a good shot. Okay, I think our Dino did not survive that next turn. Unlucky, Dino, unlucky. All right, draw for turn to the Pheasantipity. Well, I mean, I think we're in a situation if our opponent's only drawn 1 prize card at this point, I don't think I would hate to see the Pheasantipity hit the board. So let's start with that. Draw ourselves 3 cards. There's a Neo Upper Energy. We have this Ultra Ball as well. So I could go ahead and Ultra Ball away this. Grab ourselves the Zweilous, probably. Zweilous. Boom, throw that down. And then we would quick search. And this is where we'd probably want to try and take advantage of counter gain as soon as possible. So I could just grab a counter gain itself, but I would actually probably want to get an Arven. And then I'd play Arven for the counter gain as well as an item card. And the item card here, to be honest, I could not tell you what is best to grab. Oh, maybe the Terra Orb actually kind of fits here, because next turn we could play the Terra Orb, grab ourselves another Hydreigon. Okay, falling behind. We've activated our counter gain. So boom, counter gain to the Hydreigon. I would even maybe just go ahead and commit the Neo Upper to the bench here, because if our active could possibly go down next turn, then we'd want to be able to have that follow-up Hydreigon. And if our opponent Gust KOs the Zweilous, well, then this Hydreigon survives for a turn. I think we're still feeling pretty good about that as well. And then, yeah, we are spreading damage. We're doing a lot of damage. We're doing 390 damage, but I don't think we're drawing any prize cards here. Maybe we would KO like a 1/1 prizer to get like a prize card here or something like that. And then we'd look to have a follow-up Hydreigon. Like, even if this Hydreigon did go down here, I think we could survive. We'd draw for turn. Okay. Arven top deck here. Play that. Grab ourselves another counter gain. And then I don't even know what else we'd want here, to be honest. Buddy Poffin, maybe. I don't know. Let's go with that Buddy Poffin. And depending on what we're up against, we could just win the game this turn, theoretically. Go with the Terra Orb. Oh, we probably should have taken that, actually. Vessel over the Buddy Poffin. Get rid of that Buddy Poffin. Terra Orb for our Hydreigon. And then we can play the Earthen Vessel. Boom. Get rid of that Ultra Ball. Grab ourselves some energy. And we only need 1 energy here. Doesn't really matter. Just grab, like, the Dark and the Metal. Metal. And we are attacking with Obsidian back-to-back turns. And a lot of it comes from that Turbo Energize on that second turn there, where we're able to get enough energy in play that even if that first Hydreigon went down, we would have a backup Hydreigon in play, ready to go. Okay, that's going to do it for my first take on Hydreigon. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Catch you all in the next one.